I'm Michaela.
And I'm Sarah.
And we are
Pardon my learning. It's September. Maybe it's a good time to brush up your basics.
And we've been at this a while, so we thought, what a better way than to get to know us and go over some basic questions.
C'est parti? Let's start with a Q&A. We've got questions in this béret. We're going to ask them in French and give a simple answer in French. Then we'll get more into details in English. Je commence.
Vas-y, vas-y.
Où es-tu née et quelle est ta première langue?
Ok. Moi, je suis née aux États-Unis, en Californie, et ma première langue est l'anglais. Et toi, Sarah?
Moi, je suis née à Lyon, en France, et ma première langue, c'est le français.
C'est à moi?
Oui.
Ok. Combien de langues parles-tu et comment est-ce que tu les as apprises?
Je parle le français, ma première langue maternelle. Ensuite, j'ai appris l'anglais. J'ai commencé à l'école et ensuite à l'université. J'ai commencé aussi à apprendre le chinois mandarin à l'école. J'ai continué ensuite à l'université. J'ai appris l'espagnol à l'école, mais je n'ai pas continué à l'université. Et ensuite, j'ai appris un peu de roumain pendant un voyage.
Et moi, je parle pour de vrai deux langues, donc l'anglais et le français. Mais quand j'étais jeune, j'avais appris aussi l'hébreu. Et j'essaie toujours d'apprendre l'espagnol, mais j'ai pas le temps.
Michaela, as-tu déjà habité à l'étranger? Si oui, pourquoi?
Oui, j'habite à l'étranger. Donc, comme j'avais dit, je viens des États-Unis, mais depuis 10 ans, j'habite en France. Au début, c'était pour les études, et maintenant, c'est pour le travail. Et toi, Sarah?
Oui, j'ai déjà habité à l'étranger. J'ai habité en Écosse, à Édimbourg, juste après mon baccalauréat. C'était pour les études. J'ai habité 1 an en Chine pour les études aussi. Et ensuite, 6 mois en Roumanie pour les études toujours.
Qu'est-ce que tu aimes le plus dans le métier de professeur?
Je pense que c'est le moment où, après avoir expliqué quelque chose d'un peu compliqué ou d'un peu difficile pour les élèves, c'est de voir la petite lumière dans les yeux qui montre qu'ils ont compris. On voit le moment où ding ding ding,
Ouais, ça connecte.
j'ai compris.
Ouais.
C'est très gratifiant, je trouve. Et toi, Michaela?
J'allais dire la même chose. Oui, c'est vraiment de voir le progrès des étudiants.
De voir qu'au début, ils avaient du mal à assembler
construire les phrases
les mots.
Ouais,
Et qu'après, la phrase, c'est bon, elle est solide et c'est plus un problème pour eux, quoi.
exact.
Dernière question. Depuis quand est-ce que tu enseignes, Michaela?
Alors, j'enseigne le français depuis 2014. Donc, ça fait 8 ans maintenant. J'ai commencé en ligne, en fait. J'ai toujours enseigné en ligne.
Directement?
Directement. Même en 2014.
Bon.
Même avant que ça soit à la mode. Et toi, Sarah?
Moi, je donne des cours. Au début, je donnais des cours d'anglais et de chinois. Et ça, j'ai commencé en 2016.
Okay.
Et ensuite, les cours de français, j'ai commencé en 2017. Par contre, moi, je donnais des cours en présentiel, en face-à-face, direct.
So let's break that down a little bit in English. So we had several questions with several question words asking for different information. We had où,
Which is where.
we had quel,
Which is which.
we had combien,
How many.
we had comment,
Which is how.
we had pourquoi,
Which is why.
and we had quand.
When.
And I think also we might have slipped a qui in there.
It's who.
So let us reintroduce ourselves a little bit more in English. We'll give a little more detail now. So then the big question is, how did we meet, Sarah?
It all began in the year of 2016. We were both students in the University of Lyon 2, and we were both in the same program, which is a master's degree in teaching French. We worked on projects together for the university, and we had, a nice relationship.
Sarah saved my butt a few times. I was a little freaked out when we first started our masters, and she was very kind to me and helped me through it. So I knew she was going to be a great teacher from there.
Oh, thank you. I always loved the fact that she was such a cool American girl with, lots of stories.
And so our master's program was a 2-year program where we had classes, but we also had internships.
Yes, multiple internships.
Multiple unpaid internships.
It could be schools, it could be
private teaching, it could be working with immigrants and refugees.
It could be abroad, it could be in
France.
Yes, or schools.
So after 2 years of really hard work and a memoir, a master's thesis, we finally made it. And in 2018, we graduated, we finished our studies, and then we went our merry little ways. I was teaching part-time online. I had my own business teaching, and I was also doing consulting work for creating e-learning courses for learning English.
I was working as a teacher for a French teacher with refugees. I was also working in, how would you call that in English? Work-oriented language learning. So French for builders, French for salespersons.
Yeah,
yes.
French for welders or French for a specific job.
Yes. I learned a lot of very specific words in French that I didn't even know before. Then I moved on towards engineering online learning programs. So that was around COVID time.
During COVID, I thought, you know what? I want to work on an e-learning course for teaching French. I'd been doing it for so long in English, and I said, French is really my true love. That's what I know how to teach, so I'd prefer to do that. And I worked really hard all through COVID and came up with an entire program that I hated. It was fine. I got a lot of nice videos, but it was very grammar-based, and it really lacked some creativity. And so I thought, I need somebody.
Me. The year is 2020. The day is the 29th of September.
At 2 p.m.
It's Mika. It's been 2 years since I've seen her. What does she want? Money? No, she wants help.
And here we are. So a week after that, we met up and we talked about our ideas. And it turns out, somehow, Sarah was having kind of the same idea as I was.
Online learning was very popular. And I thought, wouldn't it be great to have an online platform dedicated to teaching and learning French? So, great minds think alike.
So from then on, we started discussing methodology. We started talking about what kind of courses we wanted to put out, how we wanted to teach. And we came up with a plan. And then, because everything in France takes forever, it took us a good, probably 18 months to actually set up the business.
For those of you that don't know how painful the process of opening a business in France is, paperwork, lots of paperwork,
administration.
C'est à quel sujet?
Nous désirons obtenir le laissez-passer A38.
On vous a mal informé. Vous devez vous adresser au guichet 2.
Ici, à côté?
Non, ça c'est le guichet 8. Le guichet 2, je ne sais pas où ils l'ont mis. Ah, ma chère, son dernier bien dit.
Mademoiselle!
Oh, par Jupiter, ce que les gens peuvent être désagréables, que voulez-vous?
Le laissez-passer A38.
Vous avez le formulaire bleu?
Le formulaire bleu? Non.
Alors comment voulez-vous obtenir le laissez-passer à 38?
Et où trouverai-je le formulaire bleu?
Guichet 1.
Mais j'en viens.
Ce formulaire vous permettra d'obtenir le formulaire rose.
Le formulaire rose.
Il est nécessaire pour l'obtention du laissez-passer A38. Guichet 12, deuxième étage, escalier B, village I.
La potion magique peut pas nous aider ici.
It was endless.
It was horrible.
We made it.
We did.
The 20th of April 2022,
We officially became
a business!
woohoo!
Signed the papers!
We opened Pardon My Learning.
An online platform dedicated to learning French. It's made of 2 parts. The first one is the e-learning part.
And the second is online classes. Well, we can boil down our platform to 6 keywords.
The first one being
Accessible.
24/7, it's always open. You just have to log in and continue learning French.
The second one is autonomous, but guided. So we aren't asking you to just learn everything on your own. We're giving you a guide for how to learn. So you can do it at your pace, in your own time. You can go back over as much as you want, but we're giving you a plan to follow.
We know it can be hard to learn a language. That's why in the program you will find tips and tricks, indications on how to actually do it. The next keyword is intuitive. We designed the platform to be easy to use, colorful, and overall fun.
So the next keyword is collaborative. So even though it's an autonomous course and you're going through the lessons on your own, at your own pace, it doesn't mean that you're actually alone. There are other learners out there doing the same course as you. And so we've created a community so that you can interact with others who are learning the same things as you. You can ask questions, you can bring up topics, and you can practice what you've learned.
Learning is a social experience. The next keyword is practice all skills. We designed the platform to cover every aspect of the French language, such as
Listening comprehension,
reading, comprehension,
writing,
grammar,
phonetics,
vocabulary,
and above all, something that you don't find in every online course, speaking.
Yes, it is possible to practice your speaking with an online learning program.
And the last keyword is rewarding. Hard work deserves a reward. So at the end of each course, you will receive a certificate saying, hey, I've learned these skills.
The platform is also designed to show you your percentage of completion, so you know exactly where you are. Now, let's talk about the other part, which is online classes.
And so we offer 2 types of online classes. We have group classes, where you'll find one of us, along with up to 4 other students, working on a specific task, or working on vocabulary or grammar, or just having conversation. And then we also have private lessons. So you could book private courses, either one time or a recurring set with one of us, where we can help you with your specific goals over the long term.
The e-learning courses and the online classes work hand in hand, just like us.
Yes. One is not mutually exclusive of the other. Although. Now, if you want to know more about our e-learning courses or our classes, we'll leave a link down below in the description. However, if you want to be updated with new classes or new courses that we offer, think about signing up for our newsletter.
When you subscribe, you will receive our 9 tips to learning French.
And people who get the newsletter may or may not receive coupons from time to time, or might be aware of special deals. We've been working really hard, which is why we're really excited to announce that our first course is coming out October 1st. This is a 5-chapter course, and it's going to cover the basics of French. So the first 5 lessons you would learn in a French class.
Pre-orders start on the 25th of September at a special price.
So October 1st, the first 2 chapters will be available. And from there on out, the following 3 months, a new chapter will become available until you have the 5 chapters and a review. You'll find all the information you need in the links down below in the description.
So let us know in the comments, what is the hardest thing for you when you're learning French?
And what are you hoping to learn in our upcoming e-learning course?
Let us know if you have any questions regarding our classes or courses, and we'll see you very soon.
À bientôt!
Au revoir!
It was a mosquito, yeah. I know. It's okay.